Hey, thanks for watching. I'm your host, Chris Swainhart, and this is GunStuff. GunStuff is dedicated to arming America one law-abiding citizen at a time. Hey, if that describes you, you're in the right place. And if it doesn't, well, get yourself righteous and you can feel a part of the great GunStuff nation. Hey, we've got some great guests today. Let me tell you what's happening. Liberty Lubricants, they'll be on with some new products. They've been on before. Navy Arms, well, they're going to blow your mind. And Shaw Armament, first-time guest. We're glad to have Shaw Armament and welcome them to our show. I wanted to take a little bit of time. You got to see Joe Biden, who's singing his heart out about the shotgun song. And you know what? He's pretty serious. He knows all about firearms. He's pretty good at it. This last week, he was talking about pistol braces, you know, how they change the caliber of the weapons. And you know what? We'd like to get him on the show. Also, I think just today, he was mocking Second Amendment supporters, saying you need an F-16 to take on the government. You know, the thing I like about you, Mr. President, is, you know, we don't have to worry about those mean tweets of the orange man. And you've brought an era of civility back to our national conversation. I'm just so happy about that. And you know what? I like your reelection campaign. You know, you're bringing in illegal aliens, 4 million. But I'm pretty excited about your new part of your election campaign because very, very soon, and I'm going to think this would make us a safer place, if you'll just round up those 40 million pistol brace owners, because they're all felons now, round them up, lock them up, take away their right to vote, of course, and then we can look forward to another 4 years and maybe an eternity of wonderful leadership under you or whoever Obama or the rest of the leaders, the dear leaders appoint. So, hey, thank you, Biden. And, you know, you folks that are watching, you may be deluded. Hey, by the way, on another point here, I was being somewhat sarcastic. I don't know if you can put that in there somewhere. The thing is, you know, we don't really want to take down our government. We just want to prevent unreasonable search and seizures, unreasonable imprisonment, unreasonable, like laws like taking away our pistol braces and making 40 million of us felons. So by the way, we don't like it. We don't like it one bit. Hey, I'm going to see if I can bring on my co-host right now. Let me see if I can get him here. Scott Keefner. Okay, Scott, you're there. Are you there, Scott?
Hey, Chris.
Okay.
Hey, I'm here, buddy.
Well, here in the studio, I not only have Scott in remotely from the hills of Kentucky, but I have another law enforcement expert, Ursula Williams, right here sitting next to me, right here in the studio. Hey, Ursula, what have you been up to lately?
Been doing a lot of stuff. I've been doing a lot of shooting, and I'm also still training for the Shotgun World Shoot. So I've been doing a lot of shotgun stuff. So I, on the way into the studio today, that was when I found out the whole pistol brace thing again, and holy cow! So speaking of the whole law enforcement thing, I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be enough cops to go door to door to go pick up pistol braces. So, and I know the ATF is still, backlogged to actually do, register them as SBRs and
no problem, Ursula. I don't know if you saw. No need to apologize for not being up to it, but the IRS has been out there, breaking into FFL establishments, getting all the 4473s are getting all your information.
IRS.
Yeah, and maybe that's why they spent that $85 million just so they can round us up.
What do you? Fair, yeah. The tax stamp actually does come through the IRS. So
yeah, what do you think, Scott?
There, so it's one of those things. You know, the government will use whatever available resource they have to enforce those things. And if, the IRS, like you said, the tax stamps and stuff like that, if they're involved, just like when I was, with the Department of Homeland Security, if they're linked in any way, then that gives them access to be used in any capacity to enforce another law, and on top of any federal law.
So Ursula, I'm going to let you wrap up before
with that.
we go on to the next bit here. What do you think? Do you think I'm off the mark here, thinking they're going to round us up? What do you think?
There's more of them than them. So
more of us than
there's
them.
way more of us than there are them. So I'm a numbers person. So
okay, you're ready.
I'm like, I don't want this video to get played later on. Like,
okay, all right.
And everyone's
okay.
like, what are the real thoughts? I'm like, okay.
Well, we'll skip this. Hey, here's the Legion. Scott, tell us, I think you're again on camera here. What is this that we're looking at?
So this is a stage of the Legion 9/11 Memorial Running Gun. This is done to honor fallen soldiers in the line of duty, and this is coordinated with 5th Special Forces Group. And so all of the battles in this stage and in these stages are all based on where our troops have gotten into firefights and have possibly lost their lives. So in this one, starts off, you're laying down suppressive fire with a 50 caliber. They provide it in that. Then you have to move over to another position, provide rifle cover, and then move your injured teammate to cover. But once you get there, cover is not sufficient. So then you have to begin building even more cover and then regrouping before you go on a counter assault. And finish off with your pistol, hitting the different still targets and stuff like that are laid out. These seem very basic in structure and look very simple in application and what we're doing here. But ultimately, this is what the person that this honors. This is for Sergeant Major Michael B. Stack. This honors him because this is how he paid the ultimate price. And so when you go through these stages, you're actually running, what they went through. And that's what the whole thing's about. It's great people. It's a fundraiser that raises money for the families that have lost the fallen soldiers.
So Scott, there's a lot of vets that come back and they may be in wheelchairs and they have trouble. They like to hang out with their compadres out at the range, and they're in a wheelchair. And so from what I understand, that's why pistol braces were invented. Am I right on that?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was the original reason it was invented was for a disabled vet who had suffered arm injury in combat, and that's why it was originally designed. And it's been applied a lot of different ways, but the thing is nobody wants to break the law, so they sent it off and said, hey, is this legal? And they were like, oh yeah, it's totally legal. And then all of a sudden it's not. They changed their mind.
Anymore.
Yeah.
Yep.
The funny part is that with the no, sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry to cut you off there, Scott. We could talk all day about this. I wanted to move ahead with our featured firearms because our guests are chomping at the bit here. So our featured firearm today, Scott, tell us what we're looking at, and I'm going to get my mug off here and show you what we got in the studio. Go ahead, Scott.
And I know Ursula's waiting to get her hands on it, right? She's good. Yep. She's like, come on, Chris, pass it over. So, let's do this. This is Walter's, the same as their competition line, but it's compact Pro Edition. So it has the magwell on bottom, 15 round capacity. But if you have extensions, you can run it at just about any capacity. Has the upgraded trigger, has the optic cut on the top, has adjustable rear sight, and has a threaded barrel and Picatinny rail out front for you to add any accessories that you need onto there, flashlights, lasers, things like that. But this is a smaller version of the PDP that's meant for concealed carry. But then they also have the threaded barrel on there in case you want to put a compensator or anything like that to make it, to help absorb some of that recoil, or if you want to shoot it suppressed or anything. So it's a really good gun. We've given one of these away in the past, and we've got a lot of good feedback on it and how much they liked it.
Hey, Ursula, what do you think of that magwell? I was looking at that before, and that's pretty awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely awesome.
So another cool thing is that one reason why I like the PDP, because it's super ergonomical. So if you look there, I'm trying to show you here. So this right here fits in my palm, and then they also have different back straps that you can put on it as well.
I'll hold that up there again. I'm going to get you on there.
There you go. So super ergonomical, and even with my big, massive meat hooks or cricket backs of hands here, pretty much I am not too far over. I'm not too far over the magwell there, and it just feels like just super easy.
And yeah, you're right here. The back straps, different back straps. Okay.
Which is just held in with a roll pin, but like that is actually super easy to do at home.
Extra mags,
user friendly,
and a custom mag loader. So this is
you know how
on the head.
like Chris like all his speed loaders.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. Yeah. Hey,
threaded
so
barrel. I like it.
we got it. 15 plus 1 capacity, 4.5 inch
Actually,
threaded barrel. Everyone's
I think
going
it's-
to threaded barrel, right?
yeah, I think it's 15 flush because these are actually 18 rounders.
Oh, all right. Okay. Okay.
Even better.
So, guys, we're going to have to leave it there. Manufacturers over $1,000, $7.99 at GunStuff TV.
Mhm.
To me, that's a pretty good deal. Hey, look, hang around, folks. Right after this break, we'll have some very, very interesting information that on how you can lubricate your gun for success. Jim Ryan, thanks for being on our show at libertygunlube.com.
Yep, thanks for having me again.
Well, tell us a little bit, give our viewers a little bit of background about Liberty Gun Lube.
Yeah, so Liberty Gun Lube has been around for about 9 years now, and we manufacture synthetic gun oils that are non-toxic and non-hazardous. We also manufacture different types of cleaning solvents, water-based and oil-based, depending on a customer's needs. And this year, we've come out with a dry film lubricant slash cleaner, and then also a vapor corrosion inhibitor safety flag it's a barrel saver.
Hey, here's a quick question. Synthetic oils, I used to think oils only came out of the ground or out of my oily pores on the bridge of my nose here.
Yeah.
Other than that, what's this deal with synthetic oils? What's that mean?
Yeah, so essentially, you have 3 different types of base oils. Like you said, out of the ground petroleums. People that want bio oils are usually some kind of a vegetable based oil, and then synthetics are a man-made chemical oil. What's nice about them is depending on the type that you use, they can handle pretty extreme temperature conditions. They also tend not to evaporate. Yeah, so synthetics are good. We like them. Here again, it gives us a much wider range of capabilities than, let's say, a vegetable-based or a petroleum-based oil.
Okay, so you don't head down to the supermarket and repackage vegetable oil, Crisco,
No.
or you don't go to Jiffy Lube either, for that matter. I guess.
No. And it's funny because when you say vegetable oil, I mean, some gun oils can be bio-based with a type of vegetable oil or coconut oil, and they serve a purpose, and some people want that, and there's nothing wrong with it as long as you understand the limitations of using that type of base oil. So what you have here is our Liberty Lubricants HLP, and this is our newest version. The previous version, which we had on your show a couple of years ago, was more of a creamy white color. And, the biggest feedback we got from our customers, they all love the oil, but they didn't like the fact that if it sat around for a year or so, it'd start to separate. And, even though it says shake well, on the label, and it's perfectly fine, customers just don't want to do it or they don't read it. So, we sat down for, about a good year and worked on formulating some clear oils. And after a bunch of different formulas, we came up with this, and actually does exactly, it works exactly the same as the other oil, except, it's clear, it's a nice thin oil, it's got extreme temperature ranges, and you know, it won't dry out on you. So that's why we came up with it.
I'm sorry, that just made me lose like
Yeah.
this much faith in humanity right there. Because I'm like, y'all can't shake it, like seriously. And this stuff actually lasts forever. Like I still have a small 5 milliliter bottle from I think the last time you were on the show, and I still have like half of that because it does last.
Okay, so here is our GunSolve Extreme, and what this is, it's a combination gun cleaner and then also a dry film lubricant. And we had a bunch of customers asking us if we had a dry film lube, and a friend of ours who owns a big indoor range had come to me and said, hey, you know, we use your cleaner, but we want to be able to, you know, field strip our guns, get them in an ultrasound tank, pull them out, put them back together, and get them on the range, because time is money, and if they're dirty and they're not working, they're not making us money. So, you know, we formulated this, and it's based off of our GunSolve water-based cleaner, but what we did is we added an emulsion in it, which is a dry film lubricant of little submicron particles, and they stay in solution. And then we put a binding agent in it. So what happens is you clean your firearm, whether you're spraying and brushing or ultrasound tank, whatever, and then as it washes away, you know, all the gunk and grime and carbon, you pull it out, and then, you know, you can wipe off any excess carbon, but otherwise you just let it dry. And it dries to a real thin, invisible film. And what it does is it gives you good lubrication. It's got here again a pretty wide temperature range that it'll work under. It doesn't add any real noticeable thickness other than just enough to kind of leave what's called a tribofilm on the metal parts so they glide easily together. The other thing does is since it's water-based, we do put anti-corrosion additives in it. So between the anti-corrosion additive and the dry film, it actually protects the firearm from rusting.
So Scott, I'm going to ask you if you've had any experience with dry film lubricant. Because Scott, I want to make sure that he's still on with us there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and that's one of the things that I wanted to, that this is actually one of the products that when I talked to him at the NRA convention that he had just come out with, in the fact that you put this on, the water and everything else evaporates out of it, leaves the lubricant behind. So for people like Ursula that are competing in that arid, dusty, hot environment, they're you know, all that dust and all that, you know, are armed forces in those other environments. It doesn't even have to be a desert environment. It just has to be a dusty place that you are training and or operating in, because all that dust gets stuck in your gun oil that you have. Whereas if this dry film lubricant, you know, you can just wipe that off with a rag, and it doesn't get all this stuff in all the cracks and crevices and the little small firing pin holes and all those little things that, you know, in places in a gun that we have to keep clean to keep it operational. So it's a really cool thing that you saw.
So we got Gary asked us a question: what temperature rating on the grease and the oil? I guess we're talking about the temperature rating.
So our grease Chemical X, which we don't have here right today, it's good up to like 800 degrees before it starts to melt and burn off. And I think on the low end, off the top of my head, once it's rubbed into the gun parts, it's good down to about 40 below zero. Of course, trying to pump grease at 40 below zero would be almost impossible. And then the HLP oil, about minus 70 degrees Fahrenheit, it'll still work. And it starts to evaporate off finally at a little over 500 degrees. But the chemicals that it leaves behind, the tribofilms on the gun parts, you know, will handle higher temperatures than that as well. But, you know, after 500 degrees for a while, you probably want to reapply it.
So this new BoreCorr, tell us what we are looking at here, Jim.
Yeah, so I've got one right here. So what it is it's a barrel saver, and it's a combination of a vapor corrosion inhibitor. So this plastic cable actually is infused with non-toxic of vapor corrosion chemicals that gas off. So similar to like back in the old days when you'd buy a Smith & Wesson pistol and it was wrapped in
Paper.
that paper that was, yeah, the wax paper, right? It was a vapor corrosion inhibitor. So this is essentially the same technology, and we attached it to a safety flag. So here again, it's a tell that there's something in that barrel. When we first started working with it, we're like, oh, we'll just, make it where you stick it in from the muzzle side, and then, you just figure somebody's going to forget it's in there and chamber around. So, this way, it's that visual tell that it's there. You slide it in through the chamber, but you can also do it through the muzzle end. If it's a little bit long like it is here, you can kind of fold the excess back in, and it just keeps it there, real easy to use. And what this will do is protect the barrel from rusting and corroding for up to 24 months. So it's pretty cheap protection. If you got a bunch of them in your guns in your gun safe, here again, it's just going to kind of create that vapor barrier inside and protect everything to some degree, depending on how many you have in there. But here again, real cheap protection.
You got a question?
I got a question here off of Rumble. So I am Bob Noxious asked, what will be a good lubricant for storage in a gun safe? So we already see the BoreCorr. Anything else in addition to that?
Yeah, so we have another solvent called Tribosolve, and it is actually a solvent and protectant. And unlike our GunSolve, which is water-based, it is a synthetic oil-based solvent. So you would just literally spray the whole gun down, give it a quick wipe off, and then you can put it in the safe. And what's nice about it, though, is it doesn't evaporate. So, let's say you leave that hunting rifle in the safe for a year. When you pull it out, it's still going to have a real nice thin film on it, but it's not going to have turned sticky on you. And of course, I think everybody's experienced that, where you pull out and then you got to completely clean the gun and re-oil it again. So that's not going to happen. So that's what I would use if that's going to store a gun.
I have one last question on this BoreCorr, because we're here at the end of our segment. How long is this? Does it come in various lengths? Like, is there something for rifles, short barrel pistols, or whatever?
Yeah, there's the handgun length, which has about 8 usable inches. If your barrel's a little bit longer, it's going to be fine. And then the rifle shotgun version is got about 22 usable inches. And pretty soon we're going to come out with one for like double barrel shotguns and rifles, so you don't have to use 2 flags. It's just one that's extra long that you can loop back through the other barrel.
Oh, great idea.
It'll make it easy. And then something we're looking at too is chamber plugs that'll actually fit onto this cable. So that way, if a customer accidentally, lets the action slam home on it, it's not going to break the cable. Or if for some reason they want to close that bolt, they can do that and yet still protect the cable and seal it off.
Well, Jim, I think we're going to have to leave it there. We're here at the end. So how do people learn more about your product? Where do they go?
They can just go to either libertygunlube.com, or we simplified it, and they can go to liblube.com.
Liblube.
And then I also... Yep, LibLube. I figured to make it easy and have a little play with words. And then I also did a discount code for your customers. So between now and the end of the month, if they check out and they just use GSTV, they'll get 20% off their order.
Save GSTV, you save 20%. And also this is available in, did I hear Shields and in some gun stores?
Yeah. Shields carries our products in about 22 of their stores currently, and we'll probably be expanding that out this year.
Well, thank you for being on the show. It's libertygunlube.com. And in just a minute, we're going to have a special guest, Tom, I won't say his last name. I'm not allowed to, but he was in Mission Impossible. I think he's going to be on our show in just a minute. I don't know. The only way to find out is stay tuned.
The headrest safe is quick and easy to use. Some may even call it a game changer. The headrest safe acts as a safety net, protecting your belongings while keeping them out of sight and out of bounds of others, serving as security while also keeping your valuables in bounds. That's what the headrest safe provides for me. Game, set, match.
Now I did a little preview, and I guess, I have to check out my Tom Cruise. Tom, are you there? Tom, let's see here. Tom. Oh, okay, there. Oh, all right. Well, the next best thing, we got Val Forgett here. Val Forgett, and we're so glad to have you here from Navy Arms. Why am I talking about Tom Cruise? You guys are going to find out in just a minute. Val's going to tell us. Just we start with, though, you're not a newcomer to the firearm industry, are you, Val?
No, I was raised in it. My parents started our business in the 1950s, and I literally grew up in the industry and took over my father's business when he passed away in 2002. But I've done this my whole life. It's pretty much the only thing I'm any good at.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think you are pretty good at it. Now, you guys are a little different.
Yep.
Now, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Do you manufacture guns? Are you a gun inventor? What exactly do you do? Because you do something different than most of our guests, right?
Yeah, it's kind of all of the above. And what Navy Arms really is, and how it started out and it is to this day, is we market and sell, I would say, classic guns. That could be replicas of old Colts, old Winchesters, old Remingtons. And my father was also a significant importer of military surplus guns, which we still do both today. And what I'm talking about today kind of falls into both of those categories in that they're original Mauser 7184 rifles, but they've been refurbished to new condition, both for collectors and in this particular case for the Tom Cruise movie, The Last Samurai.
So these are original Mausers, but they've been reconditioned.
Correct.
What does that mean?
Correct. Well, this model was actually the first bolt-action repeating rifle that the Mauser brothers ever built. It's an improvement on their first gun, which was a single shot, the model 1871, and it's called the 7184. And we managed to purchase a large quantity of these out of South America, and they were in terrible condition. They had rust, the stocks were broken, parts were missing. So we imported the guns, and then each individual gun we put back together first by utilizing all of the original parts that we had available. And then we took those original parts, had them made identical to the originals, including the stocks that you see on that gun right there, and make them into working guns that people can shoot, they can collect. And in the case of The Last Samurai, at the very end of the movie, the large battle scene, all of those guns were actual working guns shooting blanks on a repetitive process in that final battle scene.
And here they are. There are a lot of them. Ursula?
No, that's pretty cool. That is super awesome.
Yeah.
Scott, now this kind of refurbishment, I know you do a lot of working on guns, but could you have handled this type of volume? I don't think so.
No.
No, that is on a large scale. Yeah. Yeah, that is on a large scale. And you guys, if I'm not mistaken, so you guys, these were your guns. They were in the movie, and then you now have them back,
Correct.
right? So what are you guys going to do with all of these? What are we doing with these?
Yeah.
So normally armorers will buy the guns, which is what was done on this movie. The armorer is a gentleman named Rock Galati, who's a good friend of mine. Rock did the Matrix movies. He did the Mission Impossible movies. He just finished John Wick 4, and he's doing a movie in Europe right now with John Woo. Well, Rock recently moved from California, and he called me and said, hey, all these 7184s you sold me for the movie, would you like to buy them back? So we negotiated a deal. I bought them all back. And part of the deal is I told Rock that for each gun, he needed to sign a certificate of authenticity that each one of these guns was the ones actually used in the movie.
Awesome.
So we have those back. Yeah, we have them on the Navy Arms website. And the super nice part that I had mentioned before is these guns were built in the 1880s, which means that under ATF rules, it's an antique gun. The ATF does not consider it a firearm. So when people order these guns, we can ship it directly to their homes. They don't need to have it sent to an FFL to do the transfer.
Oh, mind blown.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Totally
Yeah.
blown. Absolutely blown.
So you can buy an actual gun from the movie that's a
Correct.
functioning firearm.
Correct.
So it's not just it's not just going to be a prop. It's going to be something that
No,
you
that is
an
correct.
actual gun to put into your collection.
And I have here an actual gun from it. And as you can see, we completely refinished it, identical to the originals. And an interesting point about the refurbishment process. The guns in the movie were supposed to be Mauser 71s, but there are no quantities of Mauser 71s, so we used the 7184s. When we shipped the guns, or we were about to ship the guns to New Zealand, and I got a call from Rock, and he said, Val, the Model 71s had brass gold-colored trigger guards, and he said, then these guns have blued ones. And to take this gun apart is very difficult. It's got many different pieces that would need to come off to get it apart again to take the trigger guards off. So half jokingly, I said, well, heck, we could get some tape and some gold Krylon spray paint and just spray paint them. And there was a pause, and Rock finally said, yeah, that'll work. So we ended up just using spray paint and spray painting, which of course is worn off over time as they've used it. But it gives you an idea as to, the practicality of movie magic, that a little bit of spray paint goes a long way in finishing a process.
So I have a question. So of course I'm shopping.
Yes.
I don't know how long, if you've been a fan of the show, I'm always shopping. I'm always looking on websites. Like, that is what I do.
We can hook you up.
Oh man.
I know a guy, yeah.
that is so awesome. I would love it. But on here, for the 7184s, you have grade 1 and grade 2. What's the main difference?
Correct.
And the
main
price
difference
is, and when you're answer Tim's question, what does it cost?
Yes.
Because we all want to know.
No, indeed. So if you've ever seen the movie, you know that was a raging battle at the end of the movie. And so all of those extras who use those guns, they were actually hitting each other. And so a number of the guns ended up with cracks in the stock, damage to them. So we didn't want to just have it be luck of the draw. So we graded the guns out, and the grade 1 guns are ones that are not cracked. They obviously have a little bit of dings and that sort of thing and some wear. And the grade 2s are the ones that actually do have the cracks. And we also have what are called rubber duckies, which were also used in the movie, which are just cast rubber that were utilized for people in the back, for people. There's a part of the battle scene where Tom Cruise takes his sword and the guy holds his gun up and he cuts it in half. Well, that was a rubber ducky they used to do that, and we have those available as well. So the price, to answer your question, the retail price on those guns is $1,299. But what we've done for the show is between now and Monday, we've reduced the price to $995. So you can go either to the Navy Arms website, which is navyarms.com, click on the link for the 7184 rifles, and that will take you over to our retail site, which I also own, which is the Old Western Scrounger site. And the URL for that is ows-ammo.com. So either way, you can go look at the guns. The Navy Arms site has a little more information on those guns, and you can order it directly off of the site. And again, we'll ship it right to your door.
NavyArms.com. I tell you what, now a lot of folks are watching this in syndication. And by the way, if you're listening to the podcast, which you'll probably hear it tomorrow, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify, this is still going to be good. Now, that price again, and it's good until when? And they need a coupon?
Nope, no coupon needed. We've priced them down to $995.
Till Monday.
So it's a $300 savings till Monday.
Guys, you got to get on board with this one and save yourself $300.
Just out of curiosity,
history, right, Scott?
Yeah, just out of curiosity, how much are the rubber duckies going for as well? So, like, if I was to buy one, I would probably want to get
the rubber duckies
for the, messing around.
Well, rubber duckies are normally $699, a lot of which we actually have customers in Japan for because they can own those, and the movies are very popular there. But we've marked them down again for your viewers to $399.95.
$399. Okay, well, that's a great deal. So, hey, Val, thank you for telling us about this. We're really excited. And
my pleasure. My pleasure.
And
thank you for having me.
I just can't imagine anything more exciting. In fact, we've got a commercial break coming up here, but I think we're going to sit here and watch the movie during the commercial break.
Get all hyped for Mauser.
It's a great movie.
Out.
I remember last thought was, I was so excited when we watched the movie and it got done, and my staff and all, I looked at each other and said, wow, that was actually a really good movie too.
Yeah, it is a great movie. It's a great movie.
Cool.
All right, well, we'll have you back on again very soon with your next discovery, whatever it might be, and we know it's going to be great. And folks, head on over to NavyArms.com. We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
Send it. Center punched it.
I'd like to introduce our next guest, Joe from ShawArms.com. Hey, Joe, thanks for waiting around for us. We sure appreciate it. Tell us a little bit about Shaw Arms, and we're going to see some of your products here in just a minute. Tell us.
Hi. Yeah, we're a 07, 02 manufacturer as well as an 08 importer. And we do a lot of import of ammo. Along those lines is what we import. We have our own line of suppressors, barrel mounted as well as integrally suppressed. We sell other brands of suppressors as well as our own. And we have a full gun shop and full gunsmithing services. We do custom rifle builds, AR and bolt action. We can do custom integrals. We do a lot of integral work for the older machine guns, some of your older stuff nobody does.
So I have a general question. Now, we all know suppressors take a little bit of time. You have to fill out a form. You get an actual tax stamp that is good and honored by King George. And that's all great. Or maybe I should say King Joe, that not being you, however. The question I'm wondering about, now this is a little off the wall question, but maybe it's not off the wall. So with the IRS agents going in there raiding ATF and getting 4473, they want to look at all those people that own guns and probably the short barrel rifles, which they call now the pistols because of the pistol brace ruling. So they've got 40 million, illegals, felons now with pistol braces. What do you think? Do you think is a possibility? Now, I don't want to be the devil's advocate here, but do you think they'll do the same thing with suppressors? Because all along they say we can have them and they charge us extra. What do you think? Are suppressors here to stay, or are they an endangered species?
The difference you have, this is the big difference where you can separate firearms to NFA items. NFA items are registered. They have that registry. That's totally legal.
So they already have
the registry. It's actually illegal for them to register our standard firearms. We do a background check to make sure the person can legally obtain that, but the dealers themselves keep all the records. That's what the 4473 is. If that firearm's ever left in a crime, or for any reason law enforcement would want to see that it was a traceable firearm, that is the reason for that. There is no registry unless a dealer closes, and then the ATF gets all the 4473s and they file those. So as long as you're in business, really they're not supposed to come and take any photos because that's people's personal information, and we're not supposed to let that go anyways.
Wow. Yeah, you know what? I predict we'll hear more from this in the future. Now, what we're looking at here, it looks to me like we've got a suppressor on the end of a firearm, and it's totally integrated in the barrel now. Am I Am I looking at the right thing or what?
You are looking at the right thing. That is one of our AR lines. That is the AR-10 and 308. What we do with our patented design, patent pending, we got a few things pending. We are able to use the airspace all the way back to the barrel nut on our integrally suppressed ARs.
Wow.
Where most people go gas block forward, we pick up all that airspace. I mean, these are, you know, the AR-10 right there was standard, you know, your standard military ammo 147, something like that. That's going to run right in the 130 decibel range. For a 7.62.
Wow.
Well, what do you
That's
got there,
pretty good.
Scott? You're hanging on to something. What do you got there in your hand?
Oh yeah, I'm hanging on tight. So one of the things that we wanted to show off here, Joe was a guest on GunStuff TV quite a while back, and so after his last guest appearance, we talked, and he said, "Yeah, send me a barrel, and we'll do a full barrel integration." So a friend of the show had this brand new shiny MPX that they had just got their hands on, and then he did a full. This is 9mm. Of course, I've already cleared this, but I'll do it again on camera just to make sure. But this is the 9mm MPX, and he has integrated this. So what I've already done is I've already disengaged the handguard here, so you can pull this off, just so you can see what he's talking about underneath there.
Oh.
So normally this would be, this I heard that in the background. Yeah, so this is what he's talking about. Normally the suppressor, you know, would start here, and you would only have the volume of that suppressor, you know, for right here. So that allows the gases to expand and all that. Well, he does it so that all the volume all the way back is used. So this essentially is a much quieter suppressor, more stable, and if I'm not mistaken, you can shoot hypersonics through this, and you know you still don't get as much of the crack and all that stuff that you would normally get, because you know it absorbs.
Yeah, on the 9
eats
we
up
do
a bunch
the ported barrel.
Yep.
Okay. So I do have a question from Rumble. So Jake 545 would like to know: do you have any serviceable 5.56 cans?
Yes, what I recommend for that, it's not a true 5.56 can. We have a 9 and a 45. The 9 works just fine on 5.56. You know, a lot of times I recommend people just buy the 30 cals for 5.56 usage, and then you can use on a lot of other stuff. Unless you're trying to get the last few little decibels out, it makes no sense to go 5.56. Or if that's all you're ever going to do is 5.56, that's fine. You know, buy one of those. But for the most part, it makes sense to go a little bigger, because you're only losing a few decibels. And then we have a full stainless 9mm and 45 serviceable cans that are full auto rated.
See, I am such a girl about certain things, and like I'm probably the girl on things that probably most girls aren't things on. So like for the longest time, I'm like nope, I'm just gonna do a 30 cal and do all the things. So now I'm like, I'll do a designated, 5.56 can, because I don't wear one pair of shoes with all my outfits.
I like the name of this.
And we also
Tiny Beast.
Oh.
That's our smallest suppressor. We take our normal Mini Beast Extreme 2, which is a 6-inch long, 1-inch diameter suppressor, and we just remove some baffles from it, make a 3.5-inch long suppressor. It works decent on handguns dry, works really good dry on rifles, where you don't need a whole lot. It will actually suppress as well as a big one if you wet it for a pistol. And it weighs I believe 3.5 ounces.
So is that is that a rifle dedicated only, or can that be used on a pistol as well?
No, that is actually a 5.7 rated suppressor. It's titanium tube and caps with stainless baffles, and we tin coat the baffles also.
Very nice.
That's
So with that being so light and so small, would you need the booster and everything for the gun to cycle properly, with that being such a lightweight can?
No, it's a 22 can. Being a 22 suppressor, those are always fixed barrel. So no, there's no function problems at all.
All right. Awesome.
Scott,
and the price on the Tiny Beast is only $300.
$300 on the Tiny Beast.
Yes.
And it's still top quality material, 17-4 baffles, titanium tube and caps, and then the tin coating, something we just do extra on our 22 and our handgun. It's a DLC coat. Looks like gold, but it really helps the wear resistance on those.
Hey, now, Scott, I'm going to put a comment up here. I just scrolled by before, you might have seen, ooh is right. And before we leave, and we're going to have to finish up our segment here, show us that ooh. We want to feel the ooh. Let's see it right here again.
Yeah.
Name for it.
One more time. So after his last show when he was on, we were looking for something like the modern MP5 SD. That was my favorite. And he was like, "Oh, well, we make these and this. So this is what we wanted to do." We sent this barrel off. It took a year. It took a year to get this back, but now it's back. So now, we recently got it back. So we're going to bring you guys some video on it. We're going to go over it a little bit. We'll take it out, do some range testing and everything. But this has been well over a year in the making just to get to this point here. Mm-hmm. But this is an amazing design, and I've already had a chance to shoot it, and it sounds phenomenal. And it's going to be a bit of a tank.
You finally got to do your ATF.
Yeah.
The ATF paperwork. I think. What did we get to start that? Like last August, maybe. And
it was unreal.
So, yeah, that's how long the ATF takes.
Yeah. Hey, well, Joe, one more shout out to your website. Where can people learn more about it? I know things. Some people are saying they're having trouble logging in, but it might be under construction. But hey, by the time everybody sees this, what is your website address?
You can get our website at shawarms.com. And our Instagram tag is Shaw Armament Systems. We'd love to have you come like our page. There's a lot of good videos. See us play with the belt feds on there and stuff. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of toys that we have fun with. So everybody enjoys that.
Well, Scott, I know our viewers are going to hold you to it. We got to see that video and in all its glory, and we want to hear the sound at 100%. Hey, Joe, thanks so much for being on the show today. And
thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Guys, a lot of exciting stuff today. Mm-hmm. And, I don't know. I think the prospect of getting a gun in the mail just to my house right now is worth $999. Not only the fact you've got an opportunity, it's got a certificate on there.
Well, that's freaking cool. But yeah, it gives people like me the opportunity to go through the days of before I was born, where you can just order from the Sears catalog and have a gun shipped to your house.
Well, that's right.
Reward, like those days. Like I just want to kind of live that once.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Scott, thanks for lining everything up.
Just so you could tell everybody.
Yeah.
Just so you could tell. Yeah, I bought this gun in the mail.
It shipped to my house.
You want to trigger your neighbors, okay? Trigger your neighbors. In fact, if you got to be a great gift for your liberal politician, just send it to them.
Good.
Along with a copy of the DVD too. Yeah, that would be great.
That's a great idea, actually. I'm thinking, oh man, can I spare that much money just to troll somebody?
Look, I've trolled people for way longer and way more money over the long run. So,
hey Scott, thanks for being on the show. Ursula, thanks for running things here for us. So hey, remember, until next time, get your stuff from GunStuff.
There's a kind of strength you can't buy or borrow. It's born in the fire, tempered by sacrifice, and carried by those who never stopped serving. Some heroes wear uniforms. Others wear scars. They're veterans, first responders, and Gold Star families. Men and women who gave everything and still keep giving. At the Warrior Shield Foundation, we stand beside them, shoulder to shoulder, providing the support, the care, and the community they deserve. We're a proud non-profit, a 501c3, built to protect those who protect us. We don't just serve our own. We help other non-profits reach their missions too, because together, we make the shield stronger. Donate and help our cause, help their cause, because every act of kindness builds hope where the battle still rages inside. Join the mission. Donate today. Visit warriorshield.org, because heroes deserve a foundation as strong as their sacrifice.